Okay, friends, it's 10 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for being here. Greetings, fellow Earthlings. Welcome back to Astrology Today. I am your host, Mel Rose, and today is Wednesday, June 4, 2025. What you see above my head is the chart that I drew for today. And you can see I've labeled it Wednesday, June 24, 2025. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for checking in on your regular current astrology. As you know, as above, so below. We look to the sky, we look to the way the planets move against the backdrop of the stars to hopefully give us some sort of idea symbolically what kind of vibrations we are encountering here on Earth so that we can hopefully just navigate our lives with more success and prosperity and peace. That is fully the name of the game for me, friends. I need all the information I can get. I'm so happy you're here with me on this journey. The sun today is in Gemini, and the waxing half moon moves on into Libra this morning. It's actually more of a waxing gibbous moon at this point. Libra and Gemini, both air signs. The vibe is intellectual and questioning. It's for seeking and sharing ideas and weighing our options. So if you're feeling like you're very much in your head today, you would not be alone. Don't forget to stay grounded, and that's going to come up a little bit in a couple of minutes here. First, I want to move on to Venus striking up a sextile, a cooperative effort with Jupiter today, okay? This interaction feels really uplifting and high-spirited and celebratory. These are our lesser and our greater benefics in a cooperative attitude. So this is good things coming about for us, good things working for us, the work that we put into things working out very well for us. It's a little bit like a Four of Wands card. I just think this is a lovely vibe to be starting off the month of Pride celebrations. And happy Pride to all of you, whether you are an LGBTQIA plus human like I am, or whether you're one of our many friends and loved ones and supporters and allies. The ability of people of all walks of life, okay, to celebrate the unique beauty of our own lives while doing no harm and uplifting those around us. That is the high ideal upon which Pride is based, okay? So Pride is for everyone, folks. Happy Pride to you. Now, tomorrow, Mercury gets to collaborate with Mars, and this is intellect in action, both in their comfort zones, okay? Intellect and action. Mercury is intellect, Mars is action. They're both in their comfort zones. Mercury's in Gemini and Mars is in Leo. And they're finding that they can rely on one another right now, okay? So it's possible under this influence to plan and act quickly, okay? Air and fire, active vibrations, Mercury and Mars, active kind of planets. You might even know as you're making the plan that the plan will work, and you might just be able to go ahead and get started on it without giving it much more thought. I say without giving it much more thought, being an impulsive, Aries, impetuous kind of person, I'm always an advocate for giving it a little bit of thought. Okay, because if you don't give it a little bit of thought, your plan may not be as perfect as you think it is. Okay, so give it a little thought, but this is a really good vibration for just sort of knowing the action I'm about to take is going to be very effective and being able to step into action and take it. Okay. Shortly after that happens, that Mercury and Mars cooperation, Venus is going to move on into Taurus, where she is right at home and most comfortable. And she'll be here for about a month, encouraging us to cultivate our relationships in ways that feel supportive and not sacrificial. So that's, not asking others to sacrifice themselves for us and not sacrificing ourselves for other people, but finding ways to be supportive of others and finding the support we need without anybody having to give up too much. Okay. The idea is that when we collaborate, we're stronger together, right? We can get more done together. We can create more, bigger, better things together. So that's the Venus and Taurus vibe. You can get what you want. You just have to you just have to be supportive and look for the support you need. And we have 3 planets, okay, moving into new signs in the next handful of days. So expect to feel some real shifts going on around us, all right? Now, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, and I'm going to discuss the significant things going on for the rest of this week. This Friday, Mercury collaborates with Chiron. Mercury at the end of Gemini wants to have a really powerful conversation here with Chiron nearing the end of Aries. And I think it's about taking the things we've learned about healing and putting them to work for us. Okay. Chiron has been in Aries for 8, 9, 10 years now, a long time. Okay. So we've had a long time to reflect specifically on those wounds of childhood and how we built defenses to keep those things from happening again, and then how over the years we have healed from those or strived to heal from them, and what kind of progress we may or may not have made, right? And then when you heal from something old like that, there's always a defense that you had put up that is probably often just blocking you from some kind of connection at this point, right? So there's a defense you put up that you realize you no longer need, and it's time for those defenses to come down. And now Chiron is really toward the end of Aries, and it's going to be a lot of noticing what defenses we no longer need, and finding ways to dismantle them so that we can have the connections that we need with other people. Okay, mending the fence, so to speak. All right, and the moon is going to be in Scorpio all weekend. This is adding some emotional and psychic depth to that conversation about the healing that we seek. I think a lot of us will find ourselves asking this question or something like it. What would it look like to the world if I could express myself in ways that represent the healing I've found? Healed people don't act the way they did when they were wounded. It's time to think better of ourselves and to do better as well for everyone's sake. And then on Sunday, Mercury has an intense, powerful, pressurized talk with Jupiter before moving on into Cancer. So Mercury and Jupiter are right there together in the sky, under pressure, right at the end of Gemini. And this is a really powerful vibration that indicates sort of an explosion of information, conversation, planning, just data running around. Okay, it might not even be real information with a conjunction with that under pressure vibration. It's not a negative or positive thing. It doesn't trend in either direction. It's sort of like, what are you going to make of this intense moment? So Mercury is the intellect, and Jupiter expands everything that it touches, which gives me also some vibes of mania. It's important, like I said, to stay grounded this weekend, especially on Sunday, okay? Try not to overplay your hand. And then Mercury proceeds on into Cancer just a little while after that happens, making us more emotionally and intuitively motivated in our day-to-day plans and efforts. And then on Monday, and this is going ahead into next week, but then on Monday, Jupiter is going to move on into Cancer. So that's Venus into Taurus, and then Mercury into Cancer, and then Jupiter into Cancer. Jupiter in Cancer for the next year is a vibration of abundant good fortune. It's very lucky, friends, and we'll have plenty of time to talk about that in the near future. Notice, however, 3 planets changing signs in the course of a week, bringing some earth and water vibes back into this very fiery mix we've been experiencing. I get up every morning and I check the chart of the moment. That's the chart of the very moment that I'm looking at the chart. I'm looking at the sky. I'm checking out the sky. And what did I want to say? Oh, and I always check the elemental breakdown in the lower right-hand corner. If you go, say, to astro.com, there's always a breakdown by the elements that shows you, how many are in fire signs, earth signs, water signs, air signs, and then also how many are in cardinal, fixed, and mutable signs. And I like looking at that elemental breakdown because it just gives me a really basic vibration for the day. And lately, it's been super lots of fire and super lots of air. Air feeds fire, very active principles, and very, very like things are heating up, not just in the atmosphere outside, but in the world today. Okay. Um, and with these planets sort of moving out of fire and air signs into earth and water signs, we're feeling uh, that ebb and flow that we've been feeling all year, okay? And it will continue to be so for a while. It's this constant sort of ebb and flow between active principles and passive ones, because water and earth are more passive principles. Hot and cold, okay, like a tide rolling out. By this time of night, okay, but by this time next year, the vibrations will be more reliably active, okay? It will have a lot more, it won't be so much back and forth between fire and air and water and earth and fire and air and water and earth. It'll be just way more fire and air, so it'll be a lot more active. And so I'm telling you now, take your moments to chill out when they come. If you're feeling bored, if you feel like, oh, why is there nothing to do right now? I'm saying cool it while you can, because things are really going to get active in the next year. Coming back to today and tomorrow, because that's why we're here, we have the sun in Gemini and the moon in Libra. Active minds, very sharing, very conversational. And we have Venus and Jupiter throwing us a celebratory party for everyone. Happy Pride, everyone. And we have Mercury and Mars putting ideas into action without much hesitation. And I always advise a little hesitation, even if you don't feel the need to hesitate. Take a breath, take a beat, consider the consider the consequences, and then go ahead with the action. Okay. And then we also have Venus coming home to the land of Taurus, where she keeps all of her finest treasures and consumes all of her most sumptuous feasts. Under these vibrations, I hope, it is my hope, that we may all find a way to celebrate, to enjoy the fruits of our labors. And it is my hope that we find it easy to put in the effort that makes a difference here and now. Thank you for joining me today, friends. Please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, so that you can always be tuned into the current regular astrology. Let me know in the comments, what do you feel like celebrating today? And you can catch me here at 10 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then on Sundays, live with Jennifer Rose to do an astrology preview for the entire week. And we also add in a tarot card reading with that. Thank you so much for joining me, friends, and I will catch you all in the next video.